Okay, I'm in the IG live.
Perfect. We're just waiting a couple of seconds, guys, to get started until we get fully connected. I am so excited that you're here today. Yes, yes, yes.
Hey y'all, so glad to be here.
Okay, I see you now. It's showing. Awesome.
It's so funny because it's like I see you in like your regular background and then I see you in this background.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Perfect. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Today we have with us our amazing Pricelis. She's going to talk to us about purposeful wandering in Kenya. And I cannot wait for you to hear everything she has to say. Like, seriously, I am super excited. And welcome, Pricelis, for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for having me. I'm really excited. I'm a Latina and I travel often. Not so much this year, but I travel quite often, and so I'm excited to share about my adventures in Kenya. So yeah, thank you for having me.
What made you decide to go to Kenya?
So me and my friend, we've been wanting to travel for a while together, and we actually were thinking about other places like Singapore and things like that. And I had been to Africa before. I'd been to Morocco and Egypt several times actually. And I actually wanted to sort of go to South Africa, but she had been there. So we were like, okay, we're both going to go somewhere we have never been, but we want to go to Africa. And so then we just decided on Kenya. We were like, we don't know much about it. We don't know much about the culture. We don't know much about the food. And really a lot of my travel has been deciding based on that. Like if I don't know much about this place, I actually want to go to learn about it. So we were like, what do we kind of know the least about when it comes to East Africa? And Kenya won. And so, yeah, we decided Kenya.
And when did you go?
Last year, 2019, April 2019. So the first week of April, which is a really good time to go. Usually I would say they would say it's like a rainy season, but it was pretty dry. It didn't rain once. And it was just, yeah, it was really great to just experience not like cold, because they do have like a winter, but not also like blazing hot that you can't kind of be outside.
Oh, wow. That's good to go. That's good to know that April is, even though it's rainy season, it was still great weather.
September is also a good, that they told me. They were like, oh, if you ever come back, try August, September, and October. They also say is a good time.
Did you write that down, guys? August, September.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to have a retreat this year in August, September there, but it didn't work out. So it'll be next year. But that's literally why I chose it, because they share that was the better temperature time.
How many days do you recommend a person goes for? Like how long?
Ooh, a long time. Because it's just, I think when we think of like certain, like, for example, like Latino countries, there's so much to see in the space. And depending on the country, you can get from place to place in a car in a few hours. Like where I'm from, Dominican Republic, I can get from like Capital to like the other side of the country in like 3 or 4 hours. Like it's not so much. Especially now that there's like different roads in DR, but Kenya is not that small. Kenya is very big. And if you really want to experience safari, if you want to experience the coast, which is like ice, like blue waters, beautiful, beautiful blue waters. Nairobi, the capital, which is amazing and dope. Like if you want to be able to have access and experience all those different kinds of things, I would say at least 7 days. We went for 6 days and we didn't even get to go on a safari because safaris are usually not even 1 day. They're several days. So I think honestly it's like a 7 to 10 day trip because from place to place, you might be taking a plane versus a car. Like we went from the coast to the capital via a plane.
Wow. Okay. And the flights, the local flights, the domestic flights, like what is the range?
So cheap. So cheap. So what we did is we bought round trip straight from New York to Nairobi, right? And then back. It wasn't straight. That would have been a lot. We stopped in Amsterdam, but it was a regular flight round trip. And then outside of that purchase, we purchased flights round trip from Nairobi to Mombasa. Mombasa is one of the main kind of, I guess you could say, cities that are on the coastline that then from there you can go to a lot of different places on the coast. And that was like an hour plane ride. Honestly, it felt like less. And I think it was like $27.
Oh.
Yeah, round trip.
Like that's very cool. Great.
Yeah, and so we coordinated in the way that our flight was arriving and leaving from Nairobi. Yeah, and I mean, there's other there are train buses and stuff like that, but we were just like we just want to get there quick.
Yes, yes, maximize the time.
Yeah, and if it's only $27, it's like why would I get on a bus? Yeah.
Very, very good. Now, Nairobi, what is there to do? What did you do? Like, what did you do there?
Yeah, Nairobi is actually really, really fun. I'm someone who likes to go out. I'm not necessarily like a clubber, but I like to like go out and have a drink and hear music and stuff like that. And it just like, if you live in New York, Nairobi gives you like Lower East Side, East Village vibes. Like there's a lot of kind of like things to do, very artistic culture. We went to this one place that had like food trucks, like I think 2 nights in a row we went to this place. It had food trucks. It had, oh my God, I wish I remember the name. I will definitely try to remember the name in a second, but it had food trucks, and it had like poetry one night, and then another night it had like an open mic with different kinds of things. And there was all different kinds of people there, mainly people of Kenya, but there was also some tourists just hanging out. And it just felt so fun and safe. And that was at night. Like we were just, was kind of like the place to go. And there was a few different places like that. And then during the day, shopping, right? Shopping with the native markets, going to like see actual animals. Like you actually don't really have to go on a safari. You can, but there's also literally animals right in the capital. And so we went to see elephants. We went to see giraffes, learned about them and their culture and what's going on with them. Kenya is very, very, very environmentally aware. So they're like really big, like there was a forest that we went to, you cannot have plastic cups or plastic bags. They really take care of their animals. They're just so aware of like the things that matter now that affect us later.
Yeah.
So it was really beautiful to see that, because I think sometimes we have these perceptions of like Africa, I'm like, yo, it's so progressive that your mind would be blown. But our mind shouldn't be blown. Like we should just know that this to be how they are. And then in Nairobi, we had Uber. We took Uber everywhere.
Oh.
Uber Eats. We ordered lunch like sometimes to our Airbnb. So that was the kind of different things that we did while we were out there. We went to like some museums. They have this really beautiful building where you can like go on the rooftop and there's lunch. It's really, really tall, and then you can just see the whole city. And so we were able to do that as well. So there's a lot of different things to do. The benefit of having access to Uber, if you're using maybe your own internet, is because then you can just really go anywhere. And so, I mean, I'm sure things are different now, but like when we were staying, there was like a yoga studio nearby and I went to that. So there was just a lot of different things that there was access to.
What neighborhood do you recommend someone stays if they're going to go stay in an Airbnb?
Yeah, so actually, I can share I'm going to share my screen so I can show y'all the Airbnb I stayed in.
And I'm going to share it here so the people in Instagram can see it as well.
Yes, perfect. Okay, let me see. And then I'll be able to show you where it was. And the good thing is like Nairobi is kind of big, but it's not too bad when it comes to like being far from the airport. It's like that. So this is, I'm going to actually zoom out a little bit. There we go. So actually, okay. So this is where we were. So it's a Spring Valley neighborhood. It's still the city. Like, there was a supermarket nearby, like a liquor store, a park, different things like that. Right. I would say more like touristy, maybe people like stay around these things like Westlands. There's more restaurants, things like that. Nairobi Central. And then when you're going more south, you're going closer to the airport. So I would say really almost anywhere, but for sure, Spring Valley, Nairobi Central, and the Westlands. If you're trying to get an Uber or you're trying to just walk around, this is more of like maybe perhaps where you would want to go. So you can be accessible. We were really close to a forest that we loved. So that was also awesome. And I'll talk a little bit about this forest. So it just depends kind of, I guess, in a way, what you want to do. And this is the Airbnb. First of all, y'all, $69.
No way. That looks beautiful.
2-bedroom, had a balcony. It was great. Like I was doing yoga here every morning. Like it was great.
Yeah. And she's going to be sharing the link with us, guys. Yes. So don't worry about it. She got you.
Yes.
This is beautiful.
A dining table, like, a little patio. It was great. It was amazing. And there was a pool in the building. We I don't remember using it, but there was a pool in the building just because we had used it in the hotel we went to previously. But it was huge. And we stayed there a few nights, and secure. There's like security, and things like that. So look at that bathroom.
Wow.
Like it was just, yeah, it was really great. And they could clean every day. We didn't necessarily ask for it because we weren't being that messy. But this was the other room. That's like where I stayed. My friend stayed in the other room. Each room there was a Wi-Fi. Each room had its own bathroom. The kitchen, I hope there's pictures of here of the kitchen, because I'm if anybody knows me, when I get an Airbnb, I'm like all about the kitchen.
Yes, yes.
I do like to cook a little. Here's the pool. I do like to cook when I am traveling. Wow. And they had board games. They had like
so spacious too.
Yes. Oh yeah, laundry. We did
laundry room. What?
We definitely use that. Wanting to make sure that when we go home, we have clean clothes.
Yeah. Are you team carry on, or do you actually take a big luggage?
For the most part, I take a big luggage. The hair, all this hair requires products that cannot really be fit into 4 ounces.
Yes.
Trips that are longer than 4 or 5 days. So
wow, this is fabulous.
Yeah, it's great. My goal definitely is to do carry on, but just got to be aware of my hair. Yeah, so that was the balcony. It was really beautiful. I'm surprised that they're not showing the kitchen. Oh, this is the whole building.
Wow.
It's like a whole building. You can see the forest. Like, it's just really gorgeous. So yeah, I'll definitely put the link. I don't know if there's a chat. Can I put the link now in a chat?
Oh yes, absolutely. You can put perfect. It in the chat.
Here you go, y'all. There it is. The link to the Airbnb, $69 a night. Like, I mean, I don't know what else you would want. And the woman that was the manager of it, she like arranged our pickup of the airport and helped us with that as well. So yeah, it was just it was a perfect like place to stay in. And that was like on our latter trip. Well, we actually went straight to Mombasa. Because we also wanted to rest. So Nairobi is like, it's like a city. You're not gonna rest. Like, you're gonna be out and about doing a lot of stuff. So we were like, okay, after 18 hours of a flight, we need to make sure that we are resting. So we get to the airport, and then our Mombasa flight is 2 hours later.
Wow.
So, yeah. So then we went to Mombasa for just an hour. And this is actually, let me show you.
So she's gonna show you also the pictures.
Yes, we stayed. So usually I'm not a big resort person. I see the value in them, and I do enjoy them. But usually I do Airbnb. But we also, like I said, I wanted to just relax and not worry about food and not worry about anything. So this is where we stayed in Mombasa. So again, Mombasa is the coastline. If you look at Africa, right? Africa has, especially Southeast Africa, it has its coastline. If you've seen places like Tanzania or the Seychelles, like they like gorgeous water, same water. Kenya is on that coastline. So this is the resort we stayed in. It was really nice because this right here, it was like 6 restaurants that you could just like choose from and like hang out outside at night. They had like live music. If like you do hookah, they had hookah. Like, they just had a lot of different things. And then all of this is the resort.
Wow.
They had food. Yeah, really nice room.
How was the food?
Oh, so good. Really, really good. I think that's the only pictures they have. So if you're Latino, especially I would say Afro-Latino, so of specific like Afro-Latino countries, you would be very familiar with a lot of the food that they had. I actually have pictures. Let me show my pictures. A lot of coconut, which I loved. Coconut is my like love language. So I loved it. This is the resort. So this is the coastline, the water, and that was just people hanging out. And then right there is the pool of the actual hotel. Let me try to see if I can skip to
the infinity pool.
This was just, so again, like if you've traveled to other places, whether it's Latin America or even India, Europe, like a lot of places have this like version of like a little like tuk-tuk, like that's what this is.
And it costs so cheap, probably
like 10 cents. In my country in DR, we call it motoconcho, right? And so like they just have this same thing. It's called tuk-tuk in Kenya. And so yeah. And we met Vincent.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I mean, I try to be very intentional when I travel. That's why I like call like with my traveling purposeful wandering, because I'm being purposeful with where I'm going. I'm, trying to be intentional with respecting the culture and the people and what they think and how they live. I'm not trying to change them, whether I agree with them or not, right? Just not,
Exactly.
not trying to change anyone, but really embrace, what they're doing. I'm gonna go back to these pictures in a second because I loved this at the beach, but I'm gonna show you some food. Yes. So this is one of the restaurants in Nairobi. If you know me, I always have rosé, so that's why that's there. And so these are basically croquettes, right? But they're of bacalao. They're bacalao, which is, I guess in English, codfish. So these are bacalao, and then this is calamari. And this is like native, especially because because they have a coastline. They have a lot of like seafood, which I'm, a big fan of. This to me was like
Pollo guisado.
pollo guisado. Yes,
That's what it looks like to me.
literally. It changed my life because I was like, I don't know, Dominicans, but it was so good. And you could see that like, wow, like we really get a lot of our culture from Africa. So yeah, this I had. I don't have a picture with I don't have it, but oh my God, I had it with coconut white rice, and these vegetables. Yeah, it was amazing. And then I think
that's the market
picture of the food. Yeah. So yes, this is the market. That's outside of the restaurant. This is the market. And kind of like, I mean, if you've traveled, almost every country has its own like cultural market. That's my friend haggling. There we are trying to get what we can. And so like, for example, this is something I bought at the market. It's one of their traditional fans. So the original people of Kenya are called, or a lot of them are called Maasai. So Maasai. And so this is, for example, called a Maasai market, which is a lot of people who either come from, come from Maasai ancestry. And so a lot of it is just really beautiful, handmade things, really, really affordable. I wanted to buy a whole lot, but I was like, girl, you came with one suitcase, so calm down.
But you're going back again, so you can bring more next time.
Exactly.
Radace is asking how much was the flight there? Was it expensive?
Yes. So round trip Nairobi was around 620.
Okay.
Yes. So I use skyscanner.com always to buy my flights. I've used it for the past decade. What it does is just filters, you just put where you're trying to go and it filters like all the airlines. I'm a big fan of buying one-way flights. Most of the time that finds you to be cheaper. But yeah, it was about, it had one stop in Amsterdam for a few hours and it was $620. And like I said before, the quick flight to Mombasa round trip was only $27. So altogether, maybe like with tax and luggage, like $700, which is not bad at all for, a week trip. In April. April is like known as a very like expensive month to travel because of the holidays that people like take spring break and things like that. So yeah, that's usually and then we went to a Maasai community in Nairobi. So Nairobi, although it's really beautiful and modern now, it wasn't necessarily that way. And when we think about even gentrification, like gentrification is literally happening everywhere. And so this community, I don't think I have any pictures where you could see it, but in front of where they live, they are basically surrounding them. They are building houses and tall buildings, and they're basically taking over their land to, build stuff. But they keep staying strong. Like they have their cattle, which is how they make money. And they also have, they welcome visitors, which is another way they make money. They were showing me how to milk a cow. I was not successful. But,
did you try the fresh milk?
I didn't, because I did it when I was in DR. When I was like, I'm okay, thank you, but it was fun. And then this is so they have like traditional, I think like people like don't realize like that this style of clothing that like people wear a lot, I would say like lumberjack style, like rather people call it in America, or Burberry, like it's African, it's an African design. It's specifically Maasai design. So they put this whole outfit on me, all this stuff, like, kind of, I guess you could say doing like a fake ceremony of like a Messiah princess. So this is
Oh, so cute.
that was my friend shoot because she's so silly. But yeah, it was, they were just putting on, so I think in one of those pictures, so they put this on us and see how they're wearing it. That's like their normal garb.
Mm-hmm.
And so all these things that they like put on us. This is a father, but he's also like the leader of a tribe. He has like 60 kids.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was very interesting.
I guess in the art they say they don't have TV.
Right.
Have a lot of kids.
Right, exactly. And this is one of his sons who was like also showing us and teaching us like about their culture. All of these people are his kids. All of these little ones, and these big ones. Yeah. So it was really nice to like meet them and learn about their culture. And then we went to Giraffe Center. So this place is literally called Giraffe Center. It's in Nairobi. I know, I'm sure plenty of people on Instagram have seen, what is it called? Giraffe Manor, which, is nice. It's like a hotel resort you can stay in, and there's like giraffes. This is great because this is actually a place where they take care of them, where they take care and serve them. So they have this whole land to themselves, and you get to be educated around them and learn about like, giraffes and what they need. And you get to feed them. And look, as you can see my face, I was a little terrified because you can see a little bit here, but look at the tongue. It's kind of creepy. But they were so sweet. They're so big. You would not realize how big they are. But they were really sweet, and it was really fun to just be there. That's the Giraffe Center, and often if you do like a tour, you can go to the Giraffe Center, and then also this place called Sheldrick Trust Elephant Orphanage, which is here. So these are elephants who were found in the wild, who maybe were abused, or even they still try to kill elephants for their trunk, for their ivory, unfortunately. So this place is great because they rescue them and they take care of them. Or if they weren't abused, it was likely their mother or their parents. And so they kind of rescue them from that circumstance so they can raise them. So it's really sweet. And it's like, it's not a performance. It's literally just educating us, the people that come, and like seeing how they're fed and how they're doing and how they're recovering. And they have a name for each of them. It's really sweet. I love elephants. So this was like amazing for me.
I love elephants too.
Yes, they were, and you can see like some were just lying down, living their best life. Some were walking around, some were running. Some of them were like splashing water at us. Like, it was really cute and fun. Oh, that's another, again, picture from the village. This is the place I told you about, that like at night. We went during the day too because we just loved it so much. I really wish I remember the name of it, but I will try to. But it's just a really like fun place. This is a forest. The forest I said was nearby. It's called Nairobi Karura Forest. So Karura. Nairobi Karura Forest. And it's really great because there's different kinds of things you can do. There's a waterfall. There's monkeys, and they're hilarious. And it's like a trek. It's definitely a exercise day, so bringing sneakers and things like that. But it was really fun. There's like caves too, really big, and old trees. And you literally have someone personally walk you around who is educated in it, and it's free. Like, you don't pay anything. They literally just want to educate people about the environment. And so that they're just willing to do it for free. I'm like, that's amazing. That was one of the waterfalls. That guy was like running my picture, but here we are. So it goes all the way up here. So it went down. There was like a water here, and then it was going down here.
Is there an area where you can jump and to like in the water or no?
Yeah, you can jump from here. So when we went to the thing, we actually didn't know there was a waterfall, so we didn't go with our bathing suits.
Oh, okay.
Which I was sad about, and that was our last day. So we're like, well, we were really trying to do the most and come back the next day and like get our bathing suits, but we're like, okay, we enjoyed enough water. But yes, you can enjoy the water. It's definitely a trek though, like, putting on your sneakers and just being ready, having all the water that you can. Oh, point about this, so I told you earlier, I think, that they don't accept water bottles, right? Like almost anywhere, like whether in the street, they don't sell it, like anything like that. So we brought water bottles, forgetting that. and we had to leave our water bottles in the front. And so we went on this trek, and we were like, whew, this is hard. Yeah, we were like, can't you make an exception? We didn't know. We're going to be so thirsty. It's such a hot day. They're like, no, we don't allow any water bottles.
Because they don't want people to leave it around, right?
Yeah. I was like, you can supervise, please. Like, we were literally begging. But then we were like, you know what?
What if it's like a metal kind of water bottle?
Yeah. A regular, but what we had is like a Poland Spring. That's what we had.
Oh, okay.
So they don't allow that because that's, you know, that you could throw that on the floor, which some people do. So that was hard. At the end of it, I needed all the water, but it was really fun to experience. This is the building I told you about that you can go to the top and there's a lunch. And there is a rooftop. And that's just like in the center city. You can literally see it from anywhere in the city. And this is near I had said Nairobi Central, so that's one of the neighborhoods. This is in Nairobi Central. This is also surrounded by like government, but it's kind of like, I guess you say like the city hall area or the governmental area of Nairobi.
Did you feel any restrictions with the language, being able to communicate to people, or most people spoke English?
So the main language is Swahili. So what y'all hear in Lion King is actually accurate language for the most part. But yeah, for the most part, everyone did speak English. I think we communicate with some people that maybe knew limited or didn't know at all. But for the most part, yeah, people knew English. Just I think because there's just so much trade from Kenya. There's a lot of like people that live in Kenya that are not actually Kenyan, and people that go to university that are coming from other places. So I think that's also why probably like they didn't know English. For example, when we went to the Maasai community, they did not know English. So the guy who took us was our translator. And thankfully, because he himself was Maasai. But if you're bringing a regular Kenyan to translate for you to a Maasai community, they're not going to know the language to be able to translate for you. Yeah. So that was great because we got, and the company that connected us with that tour, they were intentional with that. And I actually usually when I do like kind of excursions, like that, I go to viator.com. viator.com. I really literally for my retreats, for my own personal travel, that's mainly what I've used. Just because it's like, it's a safe place to book things and pretty accurate.
This is one of the Get Your Guide is another one I use as well. I use pretty good.
Get Your Guide.
Yeah, that's another great source. Yeah.
Nice. And this is the sun just setting, and I was like, wow, this is gorgeous. And that's what I was telling to you earlier, Vanessa, before we like got live. I was like, in so many ways, this place reminded me of DR or other places in Latin America. You know, from the food to the people to the joy that people had. Like, you know, I know whenever people say like they go to Latin America, they're like, wow, y'all are just so happy people. And I'm just like, we're trying to get by. And so, you know, I felt that a lot being in Kenya. And so I really like
that's such a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
To go somewhere and feel like you're at home.
Yeah. And I have felt that in other places, but I think this has been one of the most unique places that I have felt it. That's like a picture. Yeah.
So you ended up going to the coast.
Yes, there I am.
And that's in Mombasa, right?
Mombasa. So a lot of people go to Malindi, which is also beautiful. It's just about 2 hours from the airport. So we were like, okay, we're not going to travel 19 hours, and then get on a car for 2 hours. I was like, no, girl. So Mombasa was it. Mombasa is where the airport is. It's literally in the town. So where you saw the tuk-tuk, that was Mombasa. This water, this beach is in Mombasa. There are camels on the beach, and that's really nice. You can like ride them or play with them. I didn't ride one, and you can like there's restaurants you can drink and eat. My friend rode. See, there's my friend. She rode a camel. Mainly, I just was like, it was really hot, and I've rode a camel in several other countries that I've gone to. So I was like, it's okay, girl, you do it. You've never done it.
Oh, they go in the water.
Yeah. So you get to like give them a little bath because they're hot.
It is hot, I can assume.
Yeah, it was so cute. He was just living his life. Yeah, it's really nice. So you can still get to interact with them, even if like, you don't ride. because I was like, you're like really hot, poor guy. But they're just along, like that's the kind of thing you don't need to like book like beforehand. You literally just go to the beach and there's going to be camels there. And there's going to be guys like, trying to connect with you with the camels. So that's cool too, because sometimes you do want to pre-book things or pre-plan things, but sometimes it's cool to just show up somewhere and see what's going to happen. And so this is one of the things that you can do that with. And so the resort I told you about, the English Point, was like a 5-minute ride to the beach. Beach. It was already at a beach, but that was like a little mini beach. This is the coast. Like this, if you kept walking or driving, you would end up like in Tanzania. Like this is like was the actual coast of Kenya.
Wow, so cool. Did you walk anywhere? Did you feel safe at all times?
Yes. Yeah. So whenever we would, for the most part, try to just like, if an Uber like left us somewhere, we wouldn't necessarily like take an Uber to the next place. We would just like walk around. And I mean, we both felt very safe. We were 2 women, and we felt very safe, very comfortable. I mean, I think there's something to keep in mind too, is that we can pass for Kenyan. So we didn't necessarily look like tourists. So if you don't look Kenyan, I can't speak about that experience because I don't know if they would notice you, but there was actually a lot of like white people just casually walking, in the street, and they seemed very comfortable, and they didn't seem to be uncomfortable. So I think for the most part, it's they're like pretty free and like comfortable there, but I'm sure they thought I was Kenyan. So no one also was like, saying anything.
Did anyone approach you and spoke to you?
A lot of times, yes, in Swahili. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I speak Spanish. And and I know a few words. I try to learn a few words, which at this point I've forgotten. But yeah, I didn't, I was just like, yeah, I'm not from here. Sorry. I mean, maybe my ancestors somewhere in history, but not that I know of or can recall.
Awesome. Do you guys have any questions? I know there's some people in Zoom and there's some people also on Instagram. If you have any questions, please, this is the time to ask.
Talking about
earlier, someone asked about money. Did I ask that question? I can't remember. If money goes far there.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say we spent in a week. I'm gonna say $600.
Oh.
In 6 days together for all Ubers, all food, all excursions, not accommodations. That was spent before. That was booked beforehand. All gifts, right? We bought gifts. So for 2 people, I would say that's pretty good. I mean, we try to be as affordable as we could. But yeah, it's very, very like affordable in reference to exchange of Kenyan shillings. I was laughing. I was like trying to like not laugh at them. Like shilling sounds so like old school. But it's very easy to like just like transfer it.
Joe is asking, how long was the flight from New York? I know you stopped in Amsterdam, but
straight it's 14 hours straight from New York. So total ours was 18 because we had to stop like 3 hours in Amsterdam, but straight if you were to do it, which if you can do it, I would recommend. I've been on the plane for 16 hours and it's not the worst thing in the world. So yeah, Delta has mainly Delta and Kenya Airlines are the ones who do those straight flights.
And if someone wanted to do a safari, do you have any recommendations? And
so I was because we're gonna do a retreat this year and I had booked it. So definitely check out viator.com. I would highly recommend. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Amboseli. That specific safari is if you want to do more days, cool. But this one specifically for 2 days, what it does is picks you up from Nairobi. It takes you on the safari, and then for the night you stay in like, I guess you could say like a resort style, but not like it's really like in some way huts, but maybe luxury huts if you want to call it. For a night they provide you food and all that stuff. There's a pool, and then the next day they do a little bit more mini safari, and then they take you back to Nairobi. And it's because there's a lot of different, I guess you could say, tribes and spaces where you could do safaris and go. That one is the closest, I believe, to Nairobi, and that's why it's 2 days. If you want to do more than several days or farther, then it will be more. I think there's some that are up to like 10 days. again, Kenya is huge. So yeah, it would be something to consider.
And it depends also what kind of animals you want to see, right?
Right. And also to be aware of season, right? Like Google, make sure you're doing research on the season. There are some animals that are not trying to be outside or trying to be looked at or, you know, around other animals in certain seasons. So if you're looking like to see specific animals, make sure you do your research on when they're actually going to be out, because then you'll get upset. You went all the way there and it wasn't their season of, you know, being social.
Or if it's really summer and sunny there and you're under that sun, you're in the element.
Right. Yeah. So like when we went, they were like, "Oh, it's kind of good that you came. It was, you know, rainy season." They're like, they were like, "You should never come May, June, and July." And I was like, "Okay, got it. Will not. I will not."
Let me write it down. May, June, July.
Because even though we went in April, supposedly it's sunny. It was hot. I would say it was between 85, 95. Like it was still hot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was very much still hot, but it was
so May, June, July is like burning.
Blazing, yes. Like I would assume over 100. Yeah. And some people like that. I do not, because that is not enjoyable to me. But yeah, so there for them it's like early spring, late summer, early fall.
Did you have good service all around? Even on your phone?
Yeah, so I used my own phone internet. Based on my plan, I only had to pay like $10 a day. Yeah, I had for the most part. I think when we went to the elephant orphanage, I didn't, just because it was very kind of like out there. But yeah, I had good internet everywhere, and then there was also Wi-Fi in a lot of places. Everywhere we went to eat, even some Ubers had Wi-Fi. I was like, thanks.
Ubers.
Oh. They were very, I was like, okay.
They're really targeting their clientele.
Yes, they were not playing. I love it. And even with that, you know, some countries are a little hard with Uber in regards to address, right? Like I remember I went to Taipei, and the address situation was very challenging, right? Because addresses were like a little different than I guess what we're used to. So I was having trouble with the Uber, but like it's very easy in Kenya. Because it's not like necessarily our addresses like here with like a number and a name of street, but it's easy. It's pretty easy to use when it comes to Uber, and I'm sure they use other one. I didn't look to see if Lyft or Via or any of those other apps work. But yeah, it worked. It definitely works for them.
What is the cost roughly of the airport to Nairobi?
The airport to Nairobi, I think it was like $30. I'm pretty sure it was like around $30.
That's not bad.
And again, we were a little farther from the airport than like maybe other tourists would stay. So like where we were staying is not very touristy. So like in the wetlands in Nairobi Central, I would say maybe that's like less, maybe like 15, 20. But we were just a little bit more north, so that's why it was that. Yeah. And I mean, we also got it through the Airbnb. Maybe we could have got a cheaper deal another way, but sometimes I just like whatever. If the Airbnb wants to provide that service, I'll let them do their thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's in a way it's like safer.
So, yeah, exactly.
Because then you tie everything
right
together.
And I also didn't know Uber was gonna like work like that when I got there. So we actually, when we're going back, we did use an Uber because we were like, okay, we know how to use this at this point, but I just didn't know, because there's been I went to Germany last year, and there's a city in Germany that doesn't have Uber, which is Hamburg. And I'm like, you know, we were in Berlin, it worked, and then we went to Hamburg, and I was like, wait, why does Uber work? So, you know, we can never know or really assume. So some things you just learn when you get there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they have probably like their own local taxis.
Yes, they do.
And
but
that's why.
Most even natives use more Uber just because of the safety, and because it's just like they can communicate more of where they are, because Nairobi is a big city, you know, like even like I think of like DR in my country, like in Santo Domingo, like some people, you tell them where you are, they're like, where is that? You know, but if the GPS is taking them there, then it's easier. So that's people definitely using one.
That is true.
Yeah. That still happens to me to this day. I'm like, aren't you from here? And they're like, yeah, I just never been to this neighborhood. I was like, okay. Cities are really big. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Do you guys have any questions? Please ask your questions. Because we want to make sure.
Do they take the dollar or need exchange? Definitely. I mean, I would say I would say this applies to anywhere. Definitely always just exchange your money. I think it honors the people that live there when you're like exchanging the money and giving them that, because if you're not exchanging it, then they have to exchange it and they have to pay the exchange fee. But you should be the one who pays the exchange fee because you're the tourist, you're the visitor. So that's my opinion, but I think that's just a way, you know, again, to like honor the people that you're visiting in the country you're visiting. But yeah, I did it at the airport. So, and I know some people do it like in their own city and in the bank and all that, but I did it at the airport. And it was very fantastic. Yeah, it was like big bills. I was like, I don't know what to do. I feel like a rich person, but it's not. It just translated interesting.
So like a drink will be like
thousands. And that's how I felt. I mean, whenever I go to Bali, I'm like, I'm literally a millionaire, but I'm
not. Were credit cards easy to use there, or do you recommend that people mostly use cash?
Yeah, I would say definitely more cash. There was a lot of places that did not take card. So the whole Maasai market did not take card. And thankfully, at the Maasai market across the street was a place with an ATM. Because I think at that point we like no longer had cash. But yeah, definitely just try to take as much as cash as you can, or try to take it out when you get there. Because a lot of places that we went to did not. I mean, when we went to eat and stuff like that, for sure. But even, for example, where I was talking about that place where we went to at night, the food trucks, most of them did not have a way for you to accept card. So yeah, just definitely cash. And obviously sometimes that makes people uncomfortable, like to carry so much cash. But that's a place that you do have to carry some.
What kind of foods do they have in the food trucks? I know you say it's very similar to us, but I want to know.
Well, one of them,
minds want to know.
Yeah, one of them was really cool because it was actually a burger truck, but like burgers you have never tasted it before. So all of them were fried chicken burgers.
Oh, wow.
And they had like things inside of them that like, it's not tomato, lettuce, pickles. Like one had that I bought. It may sound weird, but I really like beets. And one had beet jam in it with like lettuce and goat cheese. And I was like, y'all, this sounds
delicious.
And it was amazing. So they had very like native to them burgers. And then there was like some with like, just like meals with like rice and like meat. They eat a lot of rice and meat. And there was two more. I didn't eat at those. I went back to the burger one, and then I had from the other one who had the rice and meat meals.
I wrote it down. I'm definitely having that burger when I go there.
Yes. I wish I'm trying to see like how I'm able, because sometimes you know, your phone, let me see real quick, your like your phone tells you where you took a picture, right? And so maybe it'll tell me here where I took that picture at that bar. Let's see. Come on, phone, be helpful.
Yes, phone, we want to know.
But really, yeah, it was so fun. And again, like obviously, you know, nowadays maybe it looks different because of what's happening in the world, but I feel like it would still be helpful to just like be able to see, to learn.
What is their typical dish?
Mainly just rice, meat and vegetables. So I really wanted, but I didn't get to really eat salad there. I'm not sure it was just because the places we went to, but yeah, they didn't. Oh, got it. The Alchemist bar.
The what?
The Alchemist bar.
Oh.
So that is where they have. Oh, here's the burger place. Mama Rock's Gourmet Burger. Mama Rock's Gourmet Burger. Oh, thank you, iPhone. Look at you being so helpful.
Yes, thank you, iPhone.
Right? And then there's this other place that we absolutely loved. Here we go. Nyama Mama. And this is kind of like, I guess you could say a food chain. I've just put it in the chat. Oh, goodness. Did I get off of?
It's okay. People were still, you can connect back.
Okay.
People were hearing you because I left the computer.
Okay. Okay, great. I was like, I really just need to get you guys these names.
Yes,
Alchemist Bar, Mama Rock's Gourmet Burger, and Nyama Mama, Nyama Mama. And their food, that was the picture that I showed you. They're kind of like a chain, but not like a fast food chain. I think I said the request.
Yes.
Dominicana, yes. That is me.
Claro que sí.
I sent
a question here. I think. Do they? Maybe not.
They're kind of, I guess you could say, I don't know. They're like, I guess, because I think a chain restaurant, Olive Garden, but like not Olive Garden, like way, a million times better. And it's just, yeah, it's great. We have the best drinks there, and they're all over the city.
Let me see. Okay, I did it again.
Oh, is it letting?
It's saying it's unable to join. I'm not sure. Do you want to try again, maybe?
Yes. Let me get out and then go back in. Maybe.
But I am so excited to go to Kenya. I mean, it has been in the top of my list for a very long time, and you are getting me even more excited to go now because. So, guys, she is hosting a trip there next year. This year she couldn't because, of course, COVID is messing up all of our plans. Yes. But next year, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I host retreats for women, for us to just go all over the world, and it includes, travel, stepping out of your comfort zone, growing in sisterhood, experiencing rest, and really, rediscovering some things about yourself. And so we've gone to Morocco, Bali, Dominican Republic, Colombia, Mexico, and this year we were going to go to a lot of places, but we didn't. But Kenya, it was rescheduled for next year. And I'm really excited. We're gonna do actually 2 weeks because the first week got sold out in like 1 second. Actually, I can show y'all some more pictures actually, of Kenya, but then just some pictures of what the retreat will look like. Let me see. Here we go. So yes, I have a business where we do retreats, but also like online community and things like that. If you go on the Our Retreats page, you can see like previous videos of our retreats, and then specifically going to Kenya. So actually, this is a good example to show you like the kinds of Airbnbs they have. So y'all, this.
Wow.
Yes, this is the coast also. So this is Malindi. We are going to be going to Malindi, which is about 1.5 hours, 2 hours from the airport. But I was like, this is worth it because so all this land is part of, and there's like several houses that you can rent that are just like this along the water. And then Nairobi, we're gonna be staying at a hotel in Nairobi. And actually, this shows an example of the safari I was explaining. So here it is, the Amboseli Safari. So this is where people would stay for the night. There's a pool. There's where you can eat lunch, breakfast, and stuff. And this is kind of like how the rooms look. And then yeah, we'll be doing camel ride, a local food tour in Mombasa. Subboarding has become a very big thing, and so that's really fun to do because also the water in Mombasa is very calm. It's not crazy like waves, so it's a great place to be able to do that. We'll explore Nairobi, the elephant orphanage I was sharing about, the Giraffe Center I was sharing about, visiting Maasai community, and safari. We're gonna have some photographers. So yeah, so it's gonna be a really good time. We do have a few spots left for the first week, so if y'all are interested, we'd love to have you. It's here, I'll put the link in the chat so y'all can.
So what is the website?
We are fullcollective.com.
Full Collective.
Okay. So we're going next year to Kenya and Morocco. Morocco was also rescheduled. With several, I mean, we're just canceled just because we were unsure, but we wanted to reschedule some and not have to cancel all of them.
Yeah.
Well,
now guys, if you ever want to go on a trip to Kenya, this is your chance. Or you can go on your own as well, however you choose to go. But you are in great company if you go with Pricelis.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, man. I love to. I mean, I travel a lot by myself and with my husband, with friends, and I just put the website on the Instagram. And yeah, I love to just help people, see a different side of traveling that still involves like luxury and being pampered and all this stuff, but also really like honoring and celebrating the people that you're visiting their country of. So, because it's really important to do that.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Pricelis, for being here. You gave us so much information and you got us more excited of exploring, como digo yo, cada rinconcito del mundo.
Yes.
So Yeah,
Yes.
so we're gonna make a mark in every country as Latinos and continue spreading the word so other Latinos can have these experiences that our parents didn't have. So we are so fortunate and blessed that they work hard so we can have the life that they didn't have.
Exactly.
So how can we spread that so more of us also get to enjoy it so future generations can also have those mindsets. So
we all have privileges, right? So we have to really we don't have to like feel shame of them. We have to embrace them and use them for good, and like literally, and for many of us it's a US passport or just access to be able to go to other places. So really we gotta use them, right? Use what we have been given.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you y'all for having me. Let me know, DM me if you have any more questions or want to know more about other countries that I've been to or travel. So yeah, I'm here.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And next week we're here again. Every Thursday we're here. Next week we have Canada, and the following week we have Argentina. So join us to have more Latinos being represented all over the world.
I love Canada. Yes. Okay. Love it.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
And she actually lives there. The person presenting for her name is Marisol.
Wow.
She
Cool.
actually lives in Canada. She moved there. So.
Wow. I absolutely love Canada. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.